take on the subject, and this is with a question. Who do tech companies really answer to? Where does the long arm of the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Googles of the world end? And does India hold them accountable? These are serious questions. We'll try to address them one by one. Back in the old day, it was said that the state and the church were beyond question. With the digital boom, the big tech companies have grown to such an extent that they answer no one. And I'm not making this up. For example, in February this year, India's parliamentary panel summoned Facebook and Twitter. This was related to alleged bias against right-wing groups. Note the timing. The summon was sent 3 months before the election. And yet, Facebook and Twitter sent their representatives and not their company heads. It's easy to blame the government for it, and we should. But what about these social media giants? Are they not accountable to this country, which is proving to be their biggest market? Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, they ran from pillar to post to protect their companies in the US and Europe, but elections in India were not so important for them, it seems. And when it comes to India, these tech giants seem to think that the government just doesn't matter enough. Ironically, India is the most important market for them. In fact, the biggest market, the fastest growing market as well. The users in Europe and America have plateaued, but in India, their growth is increasing at a rapid rate. Look at those numbers. From nearly 12 million users in India in 2013, Twitter now has 35 million Indian users. For Facebook, the figures are astronomical. From 136 million in 2015, the number of Facebook users in India right now is more than 300 million. That's nearly 30 crore people, 1/3 of India. WhatsApp's Indian user base is roughly 300 million. These are the kind of numbers we're talking about. This is the size of the market in India, and yet these companies do not seem to care much about India's regulation. Facebook's profit in FY18 from India alone was 57 crore rupees. The revenue from Facebook and WhatsApp stood at 521 crore rupees. What these big tech firms are minting in India is real and some serious money. India cannot continue to turn a blind eye to this. Whenever the Indian government tries to regulate these tech firms, they indulge in a blame game. For instance, Amazon, Flipkart, Facebook, and TikTok were all opposed to data protection laws. Talking tough just wouldn't suffice for India. The government needs to bring in specific guidelines to bring these firms under their ambit. Data, and more precisely personal data, is a commodity now. The Indian government's mandate is to protect the users in India from abuse by these firms. Besides, India needs to ensure that Facebook, Twitter and the like do not become tools for manipulating politics and economics in India. Interestingly, if India put its foot down, these tech companies will have to budge. They do not have a choice. Their survival depends on our data. The data wars are here. France has already shown some courage. It has enacted a digital tax. We are not saying that India should bully these companies with similar taxes, but India must tell them very clearly that it's the government that will call the shots, and any company, and I repeat, any company must abide by India's rules if they want to have access to India's markets.